Hi students, welcome to this video session. My name is Samuel Chukwuemeka. In this video session, we shall discuss percents and fractions part 2. It is my understanding that you have viewed the video on percents and fractions part 1. It is recommended that you do so. Okay, in this video, we shall see more applications of percents and fractions. Number 6, it says write p% of 94. In this case, you don't know what p is. P is a variable. So all they want you to do is just write a fraction as you say it. So p% means p out of 100. Like we said, 20% means 20 out of 100. So, and the of means times, then 94 all over 1. So, you can simplify right away. 2 can divide 100 to give you 50. 2 can divide 94. 2 into 9 will be 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Bring down 4, 14. 2 into 14 is 7. So, you can't simplify anymore. So this will be p times 47 all over 50. And that will give you 47p all over 50. When we multiply a variable and a constant, we want to write a constant first before the variable. If I say 2 times k, it means 2k. I wouldn't say k2, I would just say 2k. So we want to write the constant first before the variable. Then number 7. Number 7 says, what percent of 35 is 105? What percent of 35 is 105? There are 3 different methods that we can use to do this, but in this video, we shall just use one method. As we do more videos on percents and proportions, we shall look at the rest of the methods. So, when we see what percent of 35 is 105. So, we don't know what percent, okay? We don't know what percent. So, whatever we do not know in math, we assign a variable, okay? Whatever we do not know in mathematics, we just assign a variable. So let's say x%. Let's just say x% of 35 is 105. Now we are going to see another vocabulary here, is. And that is means equal. That is what it means. If I say 2 times 4 is 8, that tells you that 2 times 4 is equal to 8. So is means equal. So x% means x out of 100. Our of means times. And then this is 35 over 1. Is means equal 105. So we kind of have something we call a percent equation. How do we do this? We can either simplify here, or we can go ahead and multiply. We can do this several ways. We can either do x times 35 is 35x out of 100 equal to 105. So when we come to this place, when we come to this junction, there are so many ways we can solve our question. And the first method that we shall introduce here is what we call multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse. What does multiplicative inverse mean? It means, what will you multiply by that thing to give you 1? Like the multiplicative inverse of a number is that with which you will multiply by that number to give you 1. For instance, if I have 1 over 2, 1/2, what is the multiplicative inverse of 1/2? I will ask myself, What will I multiply by 1/2 to give me 1? That means 2 over 1 times 2 over 1. So that this 2 will cross out this 2 and you have 1. If I have 2, what is the multiplicative inverse of 2? I will ask myself, what will I multiply by 2 to give me, what will I multiply by 2 to give me 1? Okay, what am I going to multiply by 2 to give me 1? And that will be 1/2. So that 2 will divide 2 and you have 1. So what if you have 2 over 3, 2/3? What is the multiplicative inverse of 2/3? This means what will you multiply by 2/3 to give you 1? And that will be 3 over 2. 3 over 2. So that 2 will divide 2 gives you 1. 3 will divide 3 gives you 1. And you have 1. So the method that we shall use in this video is what we call multiplicative inverse method. Multiplying by the multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse. Remember, I say that the multiplicative inverse of something is what you will multiply by that thing to give you 1. So we want to isolate x, but we see that we have 35 over 100 times x, because this means times x equal to 105. So how do we isolate x from here? We have to multiply this by the multiplicative inverse. What is the multiplicative inverse of 35 over 100? It will be 100 over 35. So you just write multiply both sides by the multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse of 35 over 100. So we now have it this way. I will have to erase this so that I will have some space to write. So we have this as 35 over 100 times x equal to 105. So the multiplicative inverse of 35 over 100 is what? 100 over 35. So I will say 100 over 35 times 35 over 100 times x equal to whatever I do to the left hand side, I also have to do it to the right hand side. 100 over 35 times 105. So when I have this now, it becomes easy for me. 100 will divide 100 to give me 1. 35 will divide 35 to give me 1. And my x will be 100 over 35 times 105. So let me now simplify this. 5 can go into 35 to give me 7. 5 can go into 105 to give me 5 into 10 is 2. 5 into 5 is 1. Then 7 can divide 7 to give me 1. 7 can divide 21 to give me 3. So I have that x will be 100 times 3. And x will now be 300. So what does this mean? This means that 300%, what does this mean? It means that 300% of 35 is 105. That is what it means. And can you check this to see whether it's true? Let us just check this to see whether it's true. 300% will give us 300 over 100 of means times 35. So let's see what it is. 100 can divide 100, it gives you 1. 100 divide 300 gives you 3. So this is 3 times 35. And that will give you 105. And that's the way you check it. Okay? The next question, number 8. It says, John bought some items for $85. The store charges a sales tax of 7%. how much will he pay at checkout? So we have the sales tax of 7% of that $85. So cost of item without tax is what? $85. That's the cost of item without tax. Now 7% sales tax will be 7% of $85. 7% of $85. And that will give you 7 out of 100, because 7% means 7 out of 100, times 85 over 1. So 5 can divide 100 to give you 20. 5 can divide 8, 1, 5. 35 is 17. Right? And you can divide again. So this will be 7 times 7 is 9, 49. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4, 11. Divided by 20, right? And this gives you what? If 2 divides 11, that gives you 5. 5 times 2 is 10. You bring out 19. 2 divided 19 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18, right? 18, and then you bring down 1. Then that decimal, 10 is 5. All over 10. 2 divided 20 is 10. So this will now be 5.95. $5.95. That's the tax. Okay? So you now have therefore cost of item with tax. With tax will now be how much you will pay at checkout, or cost at checkout. Okay, cost at checkout. So it's going to pay the cost of the item without tax, which is $85, then plus the tax, which is $5.95. And the total cost now will be 0 plus 5 is 5, 0 plus 9 is 9, 5 plus 5 is 10, 1 plus 8, 9. $90.95 will now be the total cost that he's going to pay. So you see a good application of percent right here. Okay, the next one, question 9. K and they had dinner at a restaurant. Their bill was $21.12. If they decided to give the waiter a 30% tip, how much would they give? So a 30% tip means 30% of this amount. So 30% of their cost, the cost of the meal. So that is 30 out of 100 times $21.12. So when you see a word problem, don't be scared. Just try to read it and understand it first, because it might be so easy, just like this one. It might be so easy. So 10 can divide 30 to give us 3. 10 divide 100 to give us 10. Right? So 3 times, we can now multiply this. 3 times 2 here is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Then 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. All over 10. And this will give us 6.336 if we divide it by 10. Now, because we are dealing with dollars and cents, okay, the cents we have to round it to the nearest hundredth. That's to 2 decimal places. So they will give the tip of $6.34. Because this is 6, and when you round it up, you call it 1 and add to this to give you 4. $6.34. The last one, Mitt Romney received 27% of the Latino votes in the 2012 US presidential election. If the population of the Latino community is approximately 50 million, how many Latino votes did he receive? This is another good application of percent, right? So that means he received 27% of 50 million. You see how easy it is. So we want to find out how many votes actually did he receive. So this will be 27 out of 100 times 50 million. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So 100 can divide 100 to give you 1, and 100 will divide 50 million to give you 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 zeros. So it should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to give you 500,000. And then you now multiply 27 times 5 first. 5 times 7 is 35. Divide 5, carry over 3. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 3 is 13. Right? And then you add these zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be 13,500,000 Latino votes. This was what he received. Thank you so much for listening, students, and you have a good day.